This is Liliana and Christina with Empowered Podcast, episode number 8 with the semaglutide.
Semaglutide.
Yes, what a topic! Like, what a revolution in the health and wellness industry, right?
Yeah, it's actually it's been referenced as so many things. GLP-1 it's essentially a booster, but the skinny shot, we hear that a lot. And it has extremely gained a lot of momentum for use for weight loss. Originally starting off for diabetics, correct? And other health-related issues, but now it is just full-blown weight loss. In fact, so much so, and I support the use for weight loss, that I'm actually bringing it into my clinic. And I'm kind of networking with specialty weight loss clinic and compound pharmacy, but yeah.
Have you ever used it?
No, I have not used it. In fact, you know what? Before we get into that, let's check in. I want to know how you're doing, but I also want to follow up with what I was doing, because if you remember a couple episodes back, I discussed menopause. And so I had a blood panel done, and I wanted to see what I was going to do. Either I was going to go, perhaps, because of everything that I'm dealing with menopause, I only had a few issues that I could not get a hold of, and that was this weight gain, and it's midsection weight gain. Everything else kind of stayed the same. A little bit of puffiness, you know, like I know my face looks different. Never looked like that before. And I also know that has to do with, you know, as we age, we kind of carry our weight differently. But, and sleep. Always had, but everything else, hot flashes, I didn't experience any of those issues. A little bit of pain, intimate pain. Do I want that taken out of this episode?
We're going to talk about semaglutide. Come on.
I know.
And the hormonal panel you went through.
I did. Okay. I'm going to just let that stand. Anyhow, so I went and had my blood work done. It came back, and I've lost everything from my estrogen, testosterone. All of these levels were like 0. So it didn't matter. I mean, and I'm working out every day. I'm eating well. That weight wasn't going to go anywhere. So, and I'm not a candidate for semaglutide right now. But so I decided I'm kind of doing the patch right now. I have it on estrogen. So what's important, and I'm going to start that's kind of, I wanted to just check in with you guys, let you know the results were of that, and you will watch my journey together. But semaglutide offers alternatives for people who are experiencing things like PCOS, or as far as why they're retaining that weight. It's not because of laziness, and it's no longer just for obesity. It is for people who have tried everything with and not been successful. And as far as, you know, carrying a lot of weight, it becomes a health issue as far as heart, right? So a lot of benefits to it, and that's why I decided to jump on board, do my research on these amazing peptides, and then offer it to those people who are experiencing issues with maintaining their weight at a healthy level.
Yeah, and me, on the other hand, I have been dealing with obesity my whole life since I was 7. And I'm actually have been on Wegovy for the second time. So I had an experience 3 years ago.
Okay.
And I went through like maybe 8 months, and then the insurance didn't really cover for it. So I stopped, I started gaining the weight back. And then for the last year, I changed insurance, changed doctors, and I have lost 60 pounds so far.
So you were successful going through insurance, and what purpose did they cover this for you?
My BMI was really high, and I also had the fatty liver.
Okay, so there was an underlying health issue why this was prescribed to you. Therefore, insurance got involved.
Yeah,
or was able to cover it. Okay, great.
Yeah, and so we'll talk about that. But it's very interesting that we have 2 different situations to talk about the semaglutide, which I would be happy to share all the experience and all that I have learned through the last year.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you can offer personal experience and testimony as to how effective this has been for you, your side effects.
It's life-changing.
Yeah. And I, for my purpose of research, joined a lot of support groups via Facebook. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to share any of that information on this episode from individuals, but I can kind of relay to all of you the type of side effects that people are experiencing, and you know, those that are having success with it and those that are literally gaining weight from being on it. The complete opposite.
Yeah, there's a range of people who are using the semaglutide now, and we'll talk about the show with Oprah. That she did. That it was amazing. Yeah.
So I want to go back.
Let's go back.
Yeah, because you've been on this for how long?
Right now, what year?
1 year. And did you take a pause in between?
So what happened was that I have been trying to lose weight my whole life. Okay. So in 2016, I had the stomach reduction. So I lost about 75 pounds with the sleeve, and it was great. So as soon as I lost the weight and I was like plateau, life was good. Yeah. There is something that people talk about, and for those of who watch the Oprah show, there's other examples and other people with their testimonials. There's something in the brain that shift, right? So when I was in plateau, I was at peace and I stay in that weight. Then I want to lose a little bit more weight. Yeah. As soon as I start to lose a little bit more weight, the nightmare of going up and down started. Yeah. And for 2 and 3 years, 2.5, 3 years, I was like struggling to lose weight, and then the whole nightmare. So at one point with, the detox and everything, I did the whole 30. So I did 30 days. I cooked, I did clean, like I did not get out one day. I followed that. I was doing a course in LA. I drive every day, like lost 20 pounds. Okay, 30 days, I lost 20 pounds. I was like, okay, this weekend, Mother's Day.
That's amazing.
Mother's Day, I'm gonna go out, have dinner with my daughter. Yeah. Then Monday, I'm just gonna go back because I have been doing well. Yeah. Monday, I couldn't go back. I start gaining the weight. Then I book an appointment with my doctor and I said, I don't know, I am healthy. I know how to eat healthy. I have been doing this, and in 10 days, I got 10 pounds back from those 20 that I lost. I was like, can you check my hormones? Everything was fine. Yeah. So that's when she put me on the Wegovy. Okay. And then I did for 6 months, lost 40 pounds. Change year, insurance stopped paying. For 4 months, I start gaining back. Yeah. What you just described to me is very similar to what many people experience. They get that ideal weight off and they're motivated, and then all of a sudden they want to lose a little bit more. Maybe they went out drinking a couple nights or something and they just feel bloated, and now they're unsuccessful. And so that's when you have to start questioning, is there something internal going on, right? An imbalance. You brought up Oprah Winfrey. I want to take a moment because Oprah Winfrey was the not sponsor, but for what was it, Weight Watchers? Oh, she was part of the Weight Watchers. Yeah, she was part. She actually talked about that into the show that she withdrew. Yeah, when there was so much speculation because she had lost so much weight all of a sudden, and then you start assuming these people are using Ozempic, and so, and of course she came clean. She talked about it, and then of course Oprah has access to many resources. So let's just take a look at her lead-in to her episode that she did on the Ozempic and Mounjaro. Axel, if you go ahead and play that clip for our viewers.
They are the new drugs, sparking what many doctors say is a weight loss revolution.
It seems like everyone and their grandpa is on this stuff.
So-called miracle medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, and Zepbound have captured the world's attention.
These drugs quiet the food noise or the cravings to eat. After a lifetime of obesity, I've lost 92 pounds by taking tirzepatide, aka Mounjaro, aka Zepbound.
I've lost over 110 pounds on Wegovy, Mounjaro, and semaglutide compound, and I am now back on Wegovy again.
I would love to be on this for the rest of my life.
So that was just a lead in, and I was not able to watch the whole episode. You did.
I did.
Can you just briefly kind of touch on where the main focus of that was?
Well, she brought it up like her whole experience, you know, and how the stigma of obesity is. There's something as a follow-up show that a psychologist was talking about, like we don't have the experience of calling someone, we say like someone is obese. You don't say someone is cancer. You say someone has cancer. So there's a person who has a disease.
Okay.
Obesity has been such a way of like relating to the person is a certain way. It's like the disease is the person. So they talk about it like all the drugs and the research, all the doctors, all Weight Watchers lady came in, which you said for me to do like the whole spectrum. So there was like the whole journey from many people similar to my situation, that this has been like life-saving. I do want to say one thing about that really touched with me.
Well, on the Oprah show?
On the
or
Oprah
the
show.
episode? Okay.
Because, you know, I would believe that most of us are very familiar with the Weight Watchers, the behavior change, diet and mindset and eating healthy exercise, which for a lot of people, I have seen a lot of people have success with that program. I have tried that many times, and what they say in the show was that the reason they're now adding semaglutide in their programs is because they never took in consideration biology.
Okay. Yes, of course.
And now this medication is taking care of biology, because I am part of that group that over the years the research were saying that those people never succeed on Weight Watchers. I am someone who never succeeded on Weight Watchers.
Yeah.
And I had it, that was something wrong with me, right? Like, well, there was, but I didn't have it. I grew up with like, you don't have willpower, just shut your mouth. And, you know, and if you don't have what I experienced, you would not understand.
Well, that's what happened to you back then is kind of what's happening to me in regards to how is it that I'm eating less, that I'm working out more, that what I eat is healthy. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do any recreational things that cause you to, you know, increase appetite. But yet I'm not only am I not losing weight, I'm actually gaining weight. And there's because it was a hormonal imbalance. So finally, and I think that's why this is getting a lot of momentum among physicians and weight loss clinics, is because they've always known that it's not a one size fits all for people when it comes to certain types of diet trends, Weight Watchers and other, you know, God, how many times through our life were there always different types of diets, you know, high carb, low fat, high fat, low carb. I mean, always.
Everything.
But,
I try everything.
But you need to know what's happening inside, and everybody is uniquely designed inside. What's your blood type? And
I have a interesting story about hormonal and weight loss and Mounjaro. I have a client who has lipedema and she has diabetes.
yes.
And she has been on Mounjaro for many years trying to lose weight, and she was managing her diabetes with that, but she was not losing weight. When she got her hormonal balance, she started losing the weight.
Yeah.
So even with her, the Mounjaro wasn't the solution, because it wasn't the problem. The problem was the hormonal imbalance.
That is why my clinic, one of the things that I emphasize is I'm going to be part of the journey, the weight loss journey with you, because I want to do a whole screening, health screening. I want to know what the hormone levels are. I want to know what the blood type is. I want to know where the weaknesses are, where the strengths are. So I work directly with the compound pharmacies, the physician, the weight clinic, and we tackle all things. And then most importantly, you cannot just rely on this peptide to do all the work for you. And so I want to get into the things that people are experiencing as far as side effects, success rates, and what you have learned personally and what I've learned from my research as to things that people are doing or, positive.
That works and
things that don't work. Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of that on my own. But anyways, so go on. So here we got some notes because it was important that we get these things right. One thing I just heard today, and I concur with this physician. He's been working with this for about 10 years for his diabetic patients, weight loss, etc. And one thing he said, the biggest mistake that he's seen being made is that this peptide is being offered online without any consultation, without any levels of, checking the BMI, just taking people at face value, at their word. And it's important that you are a good candidate for this so that you have successful
this is
results.
Not a drug for everyone.
And it's not a drug that you just get off, the internet and then just decide to self-dose at whatever you think is the appropriate amount. But this doctor said something I found it made sense to me, even before he said it, but is that people, physicians, or places that are administering, they want you to buy more, so they automatically up your dose, And if you're having success on this peptide and you're losing weight, why do you need to up your dose? We don't do that with any other medication.
Well, Wegovy, so there's there's 4 main ones. I forgot the 4th name. It's Mounjaro.
Well, there's the semaglutide, which is a single peptide, and then the other one, which is a double peptide.
But then you have Wegovy and
those are the brands. Those are the brands.
But they're both semaglutide. The Ozempic is for diabetes, and Wegovy is for the weight loss. They both from Novodisc. And then you have Lilly that has Mounjaro. And then you have the other ones, and now they're coming up with different versions of it, right?
Yes,
Those are the main companies that I learned about it. And I'm on the Wegovy, not the Ozempic. The Ozempic dosage, you increase your dosage yourself. The Wegovy, they already come with a higher dose or lower dose. It's just, I just do one injection. I don't manage the amount.
I think that's the double peptide, though. I believe.
Okay.
I believe it's stronger. So that's
yes. No, I agree with you, but there's it's already done. It's not difference in price or anything. So it's not just a money situation in gaining. But going back to what you're saying is everyone should have a doctor's supervision, and what you're saying is that not everyone needs to have a higher dosage continuously.
No. So that was something that the doctor basically was kind of calling distributors of this peptide out for, because they just said, well, we're going to just automatically put you at this dose for 5 weeks, and then we're going to up your dose. And that's just not something that he recommends unless you're under the supervision of a physician who is actually monitoring and seeing that it's not effective. Then he makes the call to up the dosage. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, the mindset behind this is that your body gets used to that amount, and then it gets into a plateau. Once you're in the plateau, you go up the dosage. My experience is that I could have stayed in the lower dosage, because the lower dosage with the weight loss, with the nutrition, with the exercising, I was good. I didn't have to increase. Now, because this last year, because there was a shortage, there was a problem of shortage of product in the market, going up into the highest dosage was available easier for me, so I ended up going higher. So I'm in the 4th level. I still didn't reach the 5th. And I talked to my doctor stayed with me, and she said, as long as you're not plateauing, we can do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, the other side of what the doctor says and research says is the taking off. I hope one day I don't need to take the medication. But according to my own doctor, she said that's probably not going to happen. So I do believe that there's hope. There's a lot of research now being done, and I will see. Like, I still don't have the weight that I want to be in for me to deal with that.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts?
Well, let's talk about, first of all, let's talk about side effects. For those of you who are considering using this peptide or potentially using the peptide now or in the near future, let's talk about side effects, because my research shows that side effects are different for everybody. But I found a common denominator in many of them, and it's the way they eat. And it's some people, it says it's advised not to drink alcohol. And so then when I asked some of the people, like, just out of curiosity, do you drink alcohol? Yes, but it's very, not all the time. And the ones that have experienced like morning sickness the next day or nausea and stuff, so the alcohol is in their system. High sugar diets, or people who are like starving themselves pretty much because they don't have an appetite, but then just feel like they need to eat, or they have a craving, and it's a sugar craving.
I still have the cravings.
Yeah, it's the craving. And I think that's because everything, your blood sugar drops, everything, when you go through this starvation mode, you have to force yourself to eat. And people are saying, but I don't want to eat. Like the whole thought, I'm not hungry. I want to lose weight faster, therefore, well, guess what your body does? It goes in starvation mode. So it's metabolism slows down everything. So when they finally do eat, they caved into their craving of sugar, and then they feel sick. So nausea, probably the most popular side effect that I've witnessed in my research. What was your side effect? One of them. Just give me one.
The nausea.
You too.
And I have an aggravant because my stomach is small.
Okay.
So I cannot eat that much.
Yeah, because of the procedure.
Yeah, so there's sometimes that I just cannot eat anything. It's like even like frustrating. I was, traveling, and I want to go out and eat dinner, and I just cannot enjoy food anymore.
Yeah.
So
did your anything with as far as taste buds, like did food taste different to you? Not as good when you're on the peptide?
No, here's the difference I have. I crave for healthy foods. Easy digestive food is like, I love salads. I crave salad. It sounds weird, but I crave salads and I crave fruits. So if I eat fruits and salads, I'm happier.
Good.
I have a problem with this small stomach, so I have to focus on eating protein first, so I don't get myself full with carbs. Now you're talking about like, we know what we do. I can't have anything fried, like fried food. It makes me very sick.
Was that just while you're on the peptide? It wasn't that way before?
No, it was. Well, I wasn't really into fried stuff anymore anyway, but I would eat like nuggets, or if I would eat anything that is heavy for digestion, difficult for digestion, makes me sick.
Well, I've never come across that in my research, that particular side effect, so I wonder if that has to do with
I think because
surgery.
one of the situations, one of the effect of the drug is to slow digestion. So because I eat and I have a small stomach, the digestion goes slow. If I don't eat healthy, I'm gonna have that kind of like stay in my stomach and makes me sick.
Yes, of course.
Now I'm very thirsty, like the water intake. But I would say this: like, if I eat healthy, I have no nausea.
Yeah. So dry mouth is a reported side effect. That's with any appetite suppressant. It will dehydrate you, and it's like you can't even drink enough water.
Now I remember another side effect: fatigue.
Yes.
That has been a challenge with my I'm very active and I have a lot to do. Exercising, healing, that's another thing also. Healing slow.
So the fatigue, what I came across was that people reported that in their first couple months, and then they got over that hurdle and became actually more energetic. but as their body was adjusting to this peptide, they experienced sleeping a lot more, just feeling, loss of energy. And of course, the third most common side effect was excessive bowel movements. Did you experience any of that?
No, I'm eating less, so no.
Okay.
If I eat wrong, let's put that way.
Yeah.
If I eat wrong, then I get constipated.
Yeah.
So I have to be very attentive to. Another problem is like vitamins, but this is also like a combination with my other procedure, this sleeve. I do have like clients that they have to stop the semaglutide before they go through surgery because of the healing aspect of it.
Well, yes. You want, anytime we diet, anytime we undergo anything that utilizes our lymphatic system and our filtration system, our liver especially, it works a lot. It has to process out toxins. It has to, it's adjusting to everything. So you always want to be in your top physical health before undergoing any type of procedure. And of course, you always want to check with your doctor before stopping any medication. But yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of people just take it for granted. They start these peptides and then they fail to communicate with their physician when they start either a new medication or they're going to undergo an invasive surgery of some sort, and they fail to bring this up to them.
So the healing also goes for fatigue after exercise. So I was in Brazil for a few weeks and I didn't exercise, and I came back.
You were on vacation.
And then I came back and I I do personal trainer 3 times a week, and I do PT once a week for my butt muscles, my Brazilian butt muscles.
Yeah.
And oh God, this week I have been so sore. And I think that because of the medication, the soreness is escalated.
You said it right. So something I said to Liliani when she came back, because I just saw her today. She was gone for 3 weeks in Brazil?
Yes.
I said to her, "Oh my God, you've lost weight." And how could I tell? Her face. Her face is thinner. Now, let's touch on what we hear people say, the Ozempic face. So I'm trying to understand that typically when a person, it's not like so far-fetched, because when a person loses weight, they tend to lose it in their face first. That's when you can see where people have lost weight. And I saw it right away in your face.
I think the Ozempic phase is because the weight loss is longer. A lot of people have success over time.
Well, it's becoming extreme weight loss.
Yes.
And
so anyone who loses weight, the skin is going to lose, right? Yeah. Now, in the first time, I wasn't attentive to the nutrition aspect of the food. Remember you mentioned something about people not eating and then we'll get the sugar? I was doing things like that then. And I wasn't attentive to my medication, supplements, and my iron was low. Like, there's things that I was not doing before that I'm doing now. Yeah. So right now I'm doing more massages, I'm doing exercises, I'm doing a lot of collagen peptide with my food. Right. So that have helped with like the firmness of the skin, and even though I lose the weight, I didn't have the sagness here. You know? Yeah. So,
and I think that, because you're an educator, but you also have been educated and what you're approaching it differently, is one of the things that people, especially if they're using this peptide strictly for weight loss and they have no other underlying health issue to where they, are prescribed this medication except for the purpose of weight loss, is they're scared to death to transition off of it. Because they've heard of testimonies of people that transitioned off of it, and then even in commercials they'll say you'll gain all your weight back. Well, that's the case for most diets. If you did not change your bad habits into healthy habits, if you have not incorporated new health habits, you're gonna gain that weight back.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you and bring in something like very challenge for you.
It better be good, because you just interrupted me, so you bring it, sister. So
this is the challenge that I really want you guys to watch the Oprah episode. Is on Hulu, because I experienced that, and in my case, which that's what we're talking about, is not everyone that has the situation that I have, the disease in the way that it presents to me, okay?
Yes.
If I, in my case, for what I understood, this is a biological problem. It's something that my body do not produce. So in the moment I stop taking the medication, no matter how healthy I eat and how I exercise, I start gaining the weight back, because my brain start telling me, you gotta eat, you gotta eat, you gotta eat, you gotta eat. Like it's a mental nightmare. So there's, and that's where we go into that situation where there's the disease there, like just like alcohol. This is my opinion, okay, how I see it. Just like alcoholism, there are people who drink alcohol and they're fine, they get drunk, but then in the moment they say I don't want to drink anymore, they just change their habits and they're cool. There are people who have the disease that no matter what they do and they try, they still have the disease and they have the urge to drink, and they have a problem with the drinking no matter what. And that's where we get into that, and I get very passionate about it because
Hence why you interrupted.
Well, because I have this stigma since I was a 7-year-old.
I understand. And so there are the percentage, and it's important that we address the different classifications of people on this drug. So there is obesity, especially in the United States, has been classified as a disease for many people. And obesity can also lead to our number one cause of death disease, which is heart disease. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I also feel people who are suffering from heart problems, issues because of their weight, you're a great candidate for this. But the majority of people that are currently using these peptides for weight loss do not fall in that category. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's not to say, not to be dismissive to that category, but what I was going to address was this. If this is a way for you to get to an ideal weight and you anticipate transitioning off, then it's really important how you approach this from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. And that means not relying solely on this drug, these peptides, to do all the work for you, because you will be one of those unsuccessful percentage of people who gain it all back afterwards. Mm-hmm. That's why I felt it was so important, because I don't personally offer the peptide at my place of business, but I network with the clinic who does, and I'm working directly with the compound pharmacy, the physician, and the clinic. But I want to make sure that we do other things while they're on this journey, mm-hmm. so that they are learning new habits. We've created together a weight loss lifestyle plan and doing things to heal whatever underlying issues they may have. That's when it kind of crosses over into your classification. Mm-hmm. And two of the things that I highly recommend to incorporate into your journey: lymphatic drainage, mm-hmm. to remove the toxins from the system, to keep all your organs and everything just working properly, and lead light therapy, specifically red light and infrared, mm-hmm. because they're not only healing, but they also help with weight loss, and it's just going to boost the results and allow for lasting results.
Mm-hmm. So let me explain a little bit about fat cells. So fat cells holds content.
Liquefied fat. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So inside of that fat cell, you will find toxins, mm-hmm. and you will find fluid. Mm-hmm. When you're losing any type of weight, or you're using that fat, right, for whatever reason, that toxins, that fluid will get released. So the red light therapy, as I understood for what I was reading, will help with that, and that causes inflammation, right? So it helps with the decreasing the inflammation to help that content of the cell to be released. And then the lymphatic massage, or any type of detoxification, the teas and the detox blends and any kind of detoxing helping the lymphatic system will help to deal with that waste that was removed from the cell, and it needs to be expelled from the body, and the fluid retention. So that's why when you start losing weight, it's like,
Right.
oh, the weight loss
Yeah.
and the fluid.
And also the lymphatic drainage and the lead light therapy, a lot of people, one of the side effects was migraines and headaches and fatigue. Well, that's what happens
because
when
of the-
toxins are released into your system,
Mhm.
right? And people saying, oh, even there were cases where people were saying, like, I've never had problematic skin before, now I'm having it. Well, because when you lose weight, the liquefied fat is released into the system, it's going to purge. The skin's purging. So all of these things we're trained to address, and that's why, knowledge is power. So the more that you can address these issues during your journey, the better equipped you will be when it comes time to transition off.
Yeah. Mhm.
So we're coming to the end of this
I
episode.
want to, before we end,
Yes.
I want to address the 2 questions that we had.
Oh, yes.
So
Ooh,
one,
that was loud. That's okay.
one of the questions, like, who shouldn't use, right? Like, I cannot read. Like, what was what is not recommend? People who have certain types of disease. So, again, if you're considering doing that, you need to go see a doctor. Don't go online and just start taking. Go through your exams and everything. Now, if you already know you have pancreatic problems, thyroid problems, and kidneys problem, you shouldn't be in this drug. But again, you should go and look at your doctor. I have seen people with different backgrounds in health, even like people who had gone through chemotherapy and they have been in remission. The doctors had approved, but again, that was that case.
Mm-hmm.
So you should go see a doctor and see if you're a good candidate for it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why I'm saying the danger of this. The only hesitation I have with this becoming so readily available to individuals is that it can be purchased so easily online without any supervision of any type. They don't know, that's why I prefer the compound pharmacy, working with them, because then we can create the peptide if you need B12, find out what you're lacking and put that into your formula. So you're getting all the benefits that's designed specifically for you.
And like in the case, like I had the situation where the client was on one of those medication, was not helping, and then she did the hormone balance, and then she started losing the weight because the problem was the hormonal problem.
Yeah, see, she wouldn't have been successful had she not, or you didn't intervene on her. One of the questions that came in to me was from somebody that is on Ozempic, and if she should change her injection site. So we know that the recommended sites for injection is the stomach, the abdomen, right? The arm
and the thighs.
Thigh, inner thigh specifically. And so it's always a good idea to change the injection site, not because you're going to get better benefits from where you inject it, but because of skin, the way the skin could respond, the sensitivity of where you inject. So it's always recommended to change up.
You know what happened to me one time?
What?
The needle didn't poke, and I lost the medication.
Oh, so it was
And
beveled, probably beveled.
Yeah, and the medication was flying. I was like, oh, that money. Because it's expensive, even though the insurance paid for it.
Yeah.
But I don't really have a problem. I go just one side to another side.
So you alternate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's only recommended for any type of injections because of skin sensitivity. And in this particular drug, it's not going to be more, because some people say, oh, I never lost weight until I started injecting it in my arm. There was an individual who said well, I think that was just where she just happened to, I don't think that had anything to do with the injection site. All right, so did you cover your area for what your question? Okay, great. And so basically I just wanted to touch on I'm sorry for doing that, guys. We started creating a new format for episodes where we want to make sure that we always have at least either a question that's submitted to us through either our podcast or on one of our social media platforms. And we also wanted to just end every episode with a motivational tip and a challenge. So for today's episode, go ahead, what is our motivational tip?
So the affirmation. So you have it like, you want to read yours?
I don't have my glasses to read.
Okay, I read for you. I will put the glasses on. So, I'm capable of achieving my goals. I will open closed doors. I will be successful in achieving hormonal balance.
I said it with a beautiful accent. Didn't you see that? I enjoyed
And
that.
here's my affirmation for the week. God is my source.
Amen.
Peace and abundance is available to me while I'm connected to source. And you got a challenge now.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your challenge?
Well, let's see if I can squint my eyes and read it. Oh my gosh. Let's
What?
see.
You look great.
That doesn't help.
No?
No. This makes it actually worse.
Okay, let me
I-
read her challenge.
I know what it is. I'm going to say it.
Okay.
I may not have much, but what I do have, I'm going to share with others. So my challenge for you this week is to, whatever it is, share with others.
Yes. So I'm going to go along with that and touch with the sourceful of abundance and gratitude. Gratitude is the pathway to abundance. And in that, let's share and create it like oneness around us.
Yeah. And if you guys are ever in the Orange County area and you decide you're going to go down the path of the GLP-1 boosters, the semaglutide, check us out at Lymph Right in Laguna Beach and Holistic Health Sanctuary in the city of Irvine. Thanks for joining. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button.
And send us your questions. Keep engaging with us.
Yes, thanks guys. Talk to you soon.